Welcome into the Cowboys Report, made possible today by Roan. We'll tell you all about them later on in today's show. But as a reminder, you can get 20% off your order by going to roan.com/chatsports and using code chatsports. The Cowboys took down the Commanders in a silly goose football game that was 13-9 with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and ends 34-26. Even if you wanted to tank, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, probably still at least enjoyed the game a little bit, right? Like, you beat the Commanders, you exposed them as frauds. If you're glad you at least got a win, then like the video. Simple, easy, straightforward to do. It should be something you always do here at the Cowboys Report so we can continue to grow. Not just the Cowboys Report, but all the channels at Chat Sports. Let's get to some overreactions coming out of this week's game. Number one, the Cowboys should have lost. They messed up. They didn't tank properly. My take is you just got to be a chill guy. Marvin Overshown tweeted it out too. You just need to go, it's fine. It is what it is. Look, I understand the desire for a better draft pick. I get that. I get the mindset of your baby better off long-term having a higher draft pick. I understand all of that. Tanking isn't what players and coaches do. That's not what you want them to do. That's how you get a loser mentality. They've got bills to pay, mortgages. They've got jobs to get or keep or whatever. You don't necessarily want to have them falling apart and just losing every single game. You at least want to have them be productive and be competitive, right? You don't want a team full of losers. You don't want that. That will also hurt you long term. So here's my advice in the end. Just let the season play out. Whatever happens, happens. It's not the end of the world. If you don't get a top 4 pick, if you have to settle and wait a little bit longer, it's okay. The Cowboys were picking number 9 going into the day. Now, a loss would have kept them there. They would have stayed at that exact spot. But now they're picking at number 11. They fell down 2 spots. If you lose a game to the Panthers or the Giants, well, then just evened out because you were probably going to win those games anyway. Maybe you win 6 games instead of 5. It'll be okay. The Cowboys' schedule here, as it breaks down moving forward, is the Giants on Thanksgiving. They will be favored in that one. Bengals, Monday Night Football. They probably will not win that game. Maybe the Bengals not been very good. I think the Cowboys are not as good of a football team. The Panthers, Week 15, on the road. They might win that game. I think Tampa's a better team than you. Philadelphia's a better team than you. And we'll see what the heck the schedule ends up looking like for Week 18 against the Commanders. Maybe you're out of it by then. You have nothing to play for. Maybe the Commanders are fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe they've locked in a playoff spot. It's Week 18. Weird stuff has a tendency to happen. Just let it all play out. So with that in mind, 6 games left on the remainder of the season. How many more games do you think the Dallas Cowboys will win? Is it 2? Is it 1? Maybe you still believe it's 0. Probably not going to be all 6 if we're being honest there. Let me know in the comments section of today's show, how many more games do you think the Dallas Cowboys, it's a pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. Overreaction number 2, will the Cowboys start Cooper Rush again? Not an overreaction. I'm not trying to be like anti-Trey Lance with this part, but you can give Rush his flowers and accept the fact that they're going to play him against the Giants. I think that was easily Cooper Rush's best game of the season. Maybe his best game ever, or at least near it. He didn't miss many throws. He missed a couple at most, and there were very few in there. He actually hit a deep ball. They pushed the ball downfield. He had, I think, 2 balls of 20-plus yards. They actually hit, which I don't think had done all season long. 24 of 32, 247, 2 scores. The offense in general needs better third down results. That was true before Dak got hurt, by the way. But Rush played well today. So I think we can give the got to start Lance cry, rallying cry, whatever you want to call it, a bit of a break. It's fine. You know, this is not to say that one game overrides everything else and that we're now suddenly going, well, Cooper Rush can be a starter in the NFL. Let's calm down a little bit there. For the season, which always take big picture approaches, right, guys? 61.1%. He did increase his average by almost a full yard to 5.5. It's not very good. 1-to-1 TD turnover ratio. If you get that play, though, you'll be okay. Today's show is made possible by Roan. Phone needs its own wardrobe full of comfortable and coordinating pieces for a layered look with perspective. Because starchy, stiff workwear is not optimal. You need to endure your busiest, most important days. With the commuter collection from Roan, your clothing looks professional, performs like activewear, and feels like total comfort. Their signature technical fabrics stretch in every direction. They breathe, they fight odor and the elements, and work effortlessly so you can stay calm, collected, even when life takes unexpected turns. Time for unparalleled confidence without the hassle. Each piece in Roan's commuter collection is made to coordinate and layer for an instantly elevated look. The collection also features wrinkle release technology and is 100% machine washable. Looking good is that easy. The commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports. It's time to embody your most confident self. Roan is available at roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Link will be in the comments section and the description of the video. Overreaction number 3. Keep Mike McCarthy now? No. Let's pump the brakes here as well. Let's not get silly goose too far down. We already had a silly goose football game after all. I will give McCarthy credit. I thought he outcoached Dan Quinn. Sure seemed like that was the case there. Got the win. Big underdogs were down so much top-end talent. Found a way to get the win. It was ugly for all but the final 5 minutes. That then it got chaotic. His team clearly has not quit on him. I will give him credit there. That doesn't mean I want him back. It is fine to say, Mike, you did a good job. We have a 5-year sample size, though, of why this, almost 5 years, I guess, of why this isn't going to work. It is too little, too late. You did a good job. You ran some more creative plays. Why it took you 11 games this year, I don't really know to call those. Whatever. It can quiet the firing calls for a week. Maybe next week as well, since you should beat the Giants, whatever. But one win should not change the outcome of what we are barreling down right now. It should not. It should be a situation where you know what's going to happen here. Mike should not come back. It's fine. He can boost his resume for his next job. Whatever. That's okay. I'm not bringing him back, though, to be my head coach. So do you want McCarthy back as the Cowboys head coach? I think I know what the answer is going to be here, but you can still take advantage and go vote in the comments section. Y for yes, N for no. Do you want McCarthy back as the Cowboys head coach? Overreaction number 4. How about signing good old Daniel Jones? Yeah, what a time to be alive on this one. Overreaction, which we got some wild parts of this entire thing and conversation that came about because it was just a weird thing. This was a very classic weird Cowboy story because this is not a Photoshop. This image of Daniel Jones having a player bio on the Cowboys website is real. It was not a sign, though, of a roster move because we should all know players that haven't cleared waivers yet don't get player bios added to the team website when they don't know if they'll actually get them. What happened here, as aptly pointed out by Nick Harris over at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, was when Daniel Jones got hurt last year, or 2023, whatever it was, right before the Cowboys were playing him, they created that player bio. And the way the NFL website works is once that's created, it's got stats below it because it's all automated. This is no different than having a graphic for our preview about, the Cowboys are playing the Eagles, whatever, and then suddenly player gets cut, and I have the player bio available for it. That's essentially what it was. They were updating on the injury because it impacted the Cowboys, so they create the player bio, but it just happens to exist. And when the Giants delete their player bio, suddenly that one is the top one for the NFL website. So it's weird how it happened. The Cowboys apparently aren't interested either, which we'll come back to here more in depth in a moment. But would you sign Daniel Jones? P for pass, S for sign. Let me know in the comments section of today's video. P for pass, S for sign. The answer is pass, which is something Daniel Jones does not do that great a job of doing. We can make the argument he's better than Cooper Rush, and it would be objectively funny if the Cowboys signed Daniel Jones and then played him against the Giants. I also think signing a player on Tuesday, maybe Monday night, to play a Thursday game is like a bad idea and shouldn't ever really be pursued or done. Doesn't sound like Jones is going to be coming. Josina Anderson, Stephen Jones, everyone involved says, Stephen almost verbatim said, we like our guys. He said, we have our guys here is kind of, he's like that close to saying the full-on thing there. He ain't going to be coming. Teams that have been linked to Daniel Jones, the Ravens, the Vikings, the Niners, the Raiders, the Lions, the Dolphins, sounds like Jones wants to go to a contender and like see if he can win some games and then try again in the offseason. Raiders just lost Gardner Minshew, though. That one could potentially be appealing. Now, we've hit our 202,000 subscriber mark. Thank you all so much. 2,000, excuse me. 202.5 is next up. 375 away. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. YouTube.com/CowboysTV. Overreaction number 5, the young offensive line has stepped up. Now, this is less about Tyler Guyton in particular and more about the entire offensive line. I thought they had a very good showing. I thought they delivered. Really, all of them delivered, minus the penalties by number 60, which we'll talk about more in depth on the show later today. That was a team that was down Zach Martin and Tyler Smith. It was the backups at both guard spots. And look, Cooper Rush got the ball quickly, did a good job of executing the game plan there. He had time. The Commanders did not pressure Cooper Rush in that game at all. His only real pressures came on the final drive and one blitz where Rico Dowdle kind of sort of picked it up and still the ball got out on time. So I think all 6 guys who played, Guyton, awesome, Richards, TJ Bass, Cooper Beebe, Brock Hoffman, Terrence Steele, I think all those guys deserve some flowers because the Commanders' defense didn't do a lot of creative stuff, but they stepped up. So I will give some credit to the offensive line, and we'll talk more about Guyton later on in this on our live show later today on Monday.